We are live.
Good morning. We are in Senate Judiciary. It is April 15th. We have Michelle Childs with us to give us a walkthrough about some of the changes that the House made to S9. And the floor is yours.
So good morning. For the record, Michelle Childs, Office of Legislative Counsel. We're looking at the as passed by House version of S9 inoculating to after hours access to orders against sexual assault. So you will recall, so it originated in this body, this committee, and the purpose of S9 is to allow a person to obtain an emergency protection order against sexual assault outside of the regular court hours. So currently, you'll see in the House proposal of amendment in section 1, and section 1 and 2 are what the House added. They did not make any changes to basically what the Senate passed, which is in section 3 of the bill. And so no changes to that. So section 1 and 2 are the new ones. And you'll see under section 1, so this is on the emergency relief. Remember that when someone is looking to obtain an order, whether it's for these types of orders or whether it's for domestic violence orders, there's the ability to get an emergency order that's done ex parte. It's for a limited amount of time, and then there's the final order. So to see this language in section 1, existing language, you'll see that starting on line 10, as it applies to orders against sexual assault or stalking, it says that such complaint shall be filed during regular court hours. And so this is just a technical amendment because in Sec 3, what you did is just with regard to the sexual assault orders, is you've directed the court administrator to create kind of a procedure where someone can obtain an order against sexual assault only, not for stalking orders, outside of regular court hours. And that's something that's available for the domestic violence orders, but is not currently available under these Title 12 orders. And so this is just something I should have picked up when it was over here, but since the attorneys mentioned it over in the House, and so I just had to tweak that. So making it clear that it's only stalking complaints that are limited to the court hours. Because in section 3, we talk about the ability to get the orders against sexual assault on nights and weekends. Okay. Section 2 should look familiar in that it was included in the miscellaneous judiciary bill that was in this committee, but is now over in the House. And this has to do with the service of orders. And so currently under this law, a person who, if you have a defendant and they're in court at the time that the order is issued, they're considered served. But they still have a process where they have a law enforcement officer serve the defendant with a copy of that order. But in the domestic violence orders, the process is that if the defendant is considered served because they're in the court at the time the order is issued, then the court just has to mail them a copy of the order. There's no requirement that the law enforcement would take the time and the money and the resources to have law enforcement serve that because they're already on notice because they were in the court at the time it was issued. And so this is just doing the same for orders against stalking and sexual assault. And again, this was something that you already passed out of committee in the miscellaneous, but kind of made a decision that to just put it in here because I'll just tell you, for those of us that are going back and trying to find legislation a year, 2 years, 3 years after something is passed, and we're like, where was that? And they're buried in the miscellaneous judiciary bill. If we can find them in a separate bill that's specifically on point, like this one is, which is, dealing with orders against stalking or sexual assault, then it's kind of nice to have those issues all in one place so people can kind of track it and where it came from. And then, as I said, section 3 is exactly as you passed it. So no changes there or to the September 1st effective date. So only sections 1 and 2 are new, and 2 is not new.
And you're right on time.
Seem like pretty small technical changes. Committee, any thoughts on this?
No. I don't see any questions.
Great. So I guess procedurally, my next question would be, well, oh, actually, I see Charlie is in there. Charlie, do you have any input on these changes?
Uh, Charlie Listerman, Policy Director with the Vermont Network Against Domestic and Sexual Violence. We support these changes. I agree. I think one is, relatively technical, and the other is aligning language around protection orders for sexual assault with protection orders for domestic violence. And we think that alignment is good for survivors and judiciary procedure. So thank you.
Fantastic. All right. So I'll check in with the secretary about the next step that we have to take regarding this bill. If there's no further discussion or opposition to these changes, then I think we can just go ahead and move forward, but I'll follow up on that. And Senator Norris, since you reported out the first bill, I think I'll keep you in the loop as to what the secretary says. And I suspect it would be, since it's already on the action calendar, I suspect you'd be able to take care of it tomorrow, since the changes are really short. But yeah, we'll follow up on that.
And I sent you just a little blurb about those two things, so you could explain it, slower if required, and what the changes are.
Okay, thank you. Then we're good to go.
Yeah, good stuff. So next up, it's just Michelle for this bill. So we'll have Ben coming in at 11. So,
Want to start early? I think he's free because my meeting that I just ran over here from was with them.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't want to speak for him.
yeah, no, if he's free now, I'd
If
be
you
happy
want to
to.
reach out to him and check in, I don't think he's scheduled tomorrow. If you want to keep moving. All right.
Yeah,
Thanks, Michelle.
thank you, Michelle. If anybody could reach out to
Can
Ben.
reach out to Ben, Charlotte can reach out.
Great, sounds good, thank you. And we can also go off live if we haven't